Hi folks, so I'm back, at least I hope. All these computer nightmares that I was experiencing last week hopefully are behind me, or at least starting to be behind me, and things can finally return a little bit to normal. So keep your fingers crossed, please. So this video isn't so much a tutorial on how to use Nearpod, because I think most of you know how to use it. There might be a few of you though who haven't yet, so you'll still get a little instruction on how to do that, but this lesson is really about what are my expectations for the assignment that you're going to do, so that way as you do it you're not going to be confused. So like you always do, you'll go into your team, you will click on view assignment number 10. That's the assignment that we're on. You will look at the directions. Always read this paragraph first, because again it gives you the background to what you're about to do. And as it says here, we're continuing looking at the preamble and trying to understand what it really means. Okay, so right now you're watching step 1, the tutorial, and then you're going to move on to step 2 after this video. Now remember, there's 2 ways that you can view the Nearpod. Okay, I still argue that the best way to do it is to copy and paste the link into your browser. And the reason I keep saying that is because it guarantees that everything in the Nearpod will work. Just don't forget to join the lesson. I want your first name, your last name, and then you're going to add the period that you belong to. That way it will make grading easy for me. Again, the other way you could join the Nearpod is to just click on the link and it will open Nearpod within Teams. I know some students have said though that something might not work within Teams, so again the quickest way to solve that is to copy and paste the link, and then you shouldn't have any problems doing it that way, but do whichever is best for you. Now, lesson, which is what this video is really about, okay? That phrase in the preamble starts with "we the people." And what we're looking at is, what does that phrase "we the people" really mean? Because remember, the Constitution was written in 1787. It's over 200 years old. So while we have an idea of what "we the people" might mean to us, right? We have to separate what it means to us and what does it mean to American society. So when you go to the second slide, you have the collaboration board. Last time we tried to do this, it didn't work. Now it should finally be working. So here's the question. When you hear that phrase, "we the people," what does that phrase mean to just you? Now, you'll type your response right below. Remember, you're limited to 250 characters. So just remember as you type, remember that you have a limited amount of space. But don't forget too, you also have the option to post an image by clicking on the image icon here. So I would accept written responses, and I would accept pictures as well. Okay, if a picture expresses what you feel, just make sure that that picture will make sense, all right, and that we'll be able to tell what it means. Now, when we move on in the lesson, okay, you have a definition here, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be weighing something. In other words, you have this information that's being presented to you, and you're trying to make a decision. In other words, make a judgment based on the information that you have. So when you get to the learning target, which again, you understood the lesson, if by the end of the lesson you feel like you can respond to this target. If you can't respond to the target, that means you were probably a little confused during the lesson. Okay, now after the target, all right, remember, any videos, please click on them, because they might help you, or they're added for just effect. All right, but either way they will help. So there's going to be 2 steps that you're going to do. Make sure you read these directions carefully. Now, when you get into the actual open-ended questions, all right, and I'm going to bring us to one that will show you clearly what I'm expecting you to do. Okay? What you will have is an image. So you'll click on the image. I'll go back to this in a second. But you're basically going to have 2 steps. So what I've done is I've given you information, right, that gives you a little context of the image. So, this is an image of black women, right? And again, you could see it again. And what you're trying to decide is, does the group that I'm looking at in this picture, are they included in the phrase "we the people," or are they not, or am I undecided? All right? And again, it's not based on what you believe, it's based on the way American society reacts, okay? So, to give you an example of what I'm looking for, you got to really think about this stuff. Okay, so for example, when we're looking, you can look at this image and you could say, yes, these are all black women, right? But if you notice in the image, all these black women are different shades, right? You have light-skinned black women, you have, then you have really dark-skinned black women. So it's not just that these women are black women, there's another layer to their identity, right? That each of these women is a different shade. And those shades might mean something, right? In other words, do all of these women get the same access in American society as black women? Or even within their group, do some black women have more access than others? So that's the level that you have to think of this stuff when you look at the images. Think about color, think about gender, think about your own personal experiences, okay? And when you type your response, I'm looking for two things. So for step 1, you're first going to state whether you agree that yes, they are considered we the people in American society, or no, they are not part of we the people according to American society, or I'm unsure, I'm conflicted, right? Then the second step, you're going to explain your decision. In other words, whatever you say, yes they are, no they aren't, I'm undecided, you're going to explain why, and you're going to explain it thoughtfully. And remember, thoughtful means your responses show you are thinking a lot about it. All right? And when you get to the end, after all those, looking at the different pictures, then you're going to make the final response. Of all the groups you've seen, who has the most access to the phrase "we the people"? In other words, when they wrote it in 1787, right? That phrase "we," who is the "we" that they are really referring to? And even today, who is the "we" that still has access to all those rights and voice and power? And that's how you end the lesson. So I hope this makes this lesson make more sense as you're doing it on your own, and I'm looking forward to reading your responses. So good luck, and we will speak soon. Take care, folks.